routine and self-care, I think, those cannot be overstated. Just the importance of the basics.
Routine,
self-care, right? Sleep, healthy eating, exercise. These tend to be like the foundation. If you're building a house, right? You have to have a solid foundation. Otherwise, whatever house you build, it's going to be wobbly. So
can we, are we allowed, not allowed, can we begin rebuilding that foundation at any point?
Absolutely. By going back to the basics, right? That's part of developing a sense of internal safety and a sense of internal regulation and control, a sense of control over our body, right? Going back to the basics, focusing on making sure we have routine and consistency in our actions, particularly around these kinds of three things, right? Sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Routine and consistency are really important, right? I think what that does is it helps us maintain a sense of control over our world, a sense of predictability. You see this in daycares, right? You see, like when my kids were in daycare, their days were structured like right to the minute, like 8 to 8:30 outside play, 8:30 to 9 circle time, 9 to 9:30 snack, right? Or whatever it is. And within these activities, of course, they have variation and they have choice, but the structure of the day was really, really consistent. And so these little kids who have no idea how to tell time, they know if they're outside playing, that means what comes next is circle time. And if they're in circle time,
nap time.
well, what comes next is nap time, right? And it helps them maintain a sense of safety and a sense of control over their universe, because the universe is a really chaotic and scary, right? A scary thing. And so we want to, right, develop these kinds of patterns to help us maintain a sense of safety and a sense of control.
Reflection.
Yeah, reflection is the ability to think about our own thoughts and feelings, is ability to think about our own emotions, right? Reflection in parenting. It's ability to think about our parenting style, to think about, what am I doing? How is it working? How is it not working? All right. Kind of goes hand in hand, I think, with emotion regulation. Like you were talking about the breathing, right? Self-talk, gratitude, grounding. These are all examples of emotion regulation that help us maintain a sense of control over our internal world, right? Over what's going on inside of us. A sense of meaning, a sense of purpose in our life. This is based on Viktor Frankl's work, who was a psychiatrist that survived Auschwitz. And after
The Man's Search for Meaning.
The Man's Search for Meaning, yes. Powerful book, right? But about how a sense of meaning and purpose and connection is essential in our lives. Growth mindset.
So that really, when I saw that in the notes, talking
Yeah.
points, I was thinking, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Self-help.
Yeah, that's a popular one to talk about right now. It's gaining traction out there in the self-help universe, and I think just in pop culture, right? We hear this term a lot. So this is helping ourselves, helping our children view mistakes not as failures, but as opportunities to learn.
That's why you have Thomas Edison there.
Yes, Thomas Edison.
Oh.
Yes, the anecdote, right, about the light bulb and how he failed like 5,000 times until he got it right, and he was asked, how does it feel to fail so many times? And he said, I didn't fail that many times. I just learned what not to do that many times. Which eventually helped him get it right.
I'll make sure I use that definition next time someone says, I've told you 9 times. Yes, but I know 9 times what not to do.
Exactly.
I'll see how well that goes over.
Yeah. So that's kind of, sorry. So I think this growth mindset really kind of helps foster also our sense of confidence, our sense of self-efficacy. right? If we're thinking about our mistakes not as a definition of like I'm a success or I'm a failure, but I made a mistake. What can I learn from it? You know?
Then you have
Yeah.
the emotional regulation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Controlling what?
Yeah. Well, it's again kind of the difference between top-down processing, right? Bottom-up processing. Emotion regulation, I think in more traditional sense, is being able to engage the frontal lobe to soothe the emotion brain, right? Because what happens when we're really upset is it hijacks the thinking brain, right? So it's hard to think clearly, it's hard to plan, it's hard, right? And we can feel like we are in a tsunami of feelings. Or the opposite, we can feel completely numbed out from our feelings, right? So it's kind of using certain strategies to help soothe and regulate the emotion brain. So a really great one, and a really one that makes so much sense, right? And you can use it with children too. Like, have you ever noticed with little kids when they're really, really upset, and you simply say to them, "You're really upset right now." It's like something just settles down in them. Because by using language, by putting the language on the experience and on the feeling, you're engaging the frontal lobe right away. And so right away, there's a shift in the brain, right?
I'll have to use that with my nieces.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right? You're feeling so scared. You're feeling so sad. You're so angry. And I don't think it works much differently with ourselves, right? When you notice something, right? Oh, I'm feeling really upset right now. Yeah. Neat, huh?
I'm just kind of floored. These little tools that you're giving
Yeah.
us, to use.
Yeah. Examples. Yeah.
And what about relationships?
Yeah. Oh, well, I've included this quote, right, from Dr. Bruce Perry. I just love it. That relationships are the agents of change, and the most powerful therapy is human love. Right? It's powerful stuff. Again, we're not wired to do this hard stuff alone. That's not how we're built. That's not how our brains are built. Right? And trauma can be so isolating. It can be such a sense of shame and isolation and right, that prevents us from being able to connect with others. And when we're not able to connect with others, we feel even more alone, right? Even more isolated, even more lonely. Relationships are the agents of change. And the most powerful therapy is human love.
On that note, thank you.
You're very welcome.
For coming in. There will definitely be a part 2. I really appreciate you coming on, Anna. And I'm going to end it just on that quote.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.